in this country may not be familiar with Pumpernick, the Argentinian franchise was a massive hit in its home country back in the mid-70s. With a logo similar to that of Burger King, Pumpernick served up burgers, fries, and other fast food staples, and managed to spread across Argentina and Buenos Aires with 70 locations. Sadly, bad management and poor food standardization, which caused food to vary drastically from franchise to franchise, along with the introduction of the mega burger chains into the country, caused Pumpernick to decline. Unfortunately, the chain filed for bankruptcy and was finished by 1999.
Bankruptcy!
Geno's Burgers.
Horrifying, artery-clogging hamburger.
For some reason, athletes love to get into the restaurant biz, and we're all grateful for it.
Nice.
Former Baltimore Colts, now Indianapolis Colts, defensive end Gino Marchetti's burger chain burst onto the fast food scene in the late 1950s. Geno's served up burgers, fries, and fried chicken for more than 40 years, and at its peak ended up merging with a drive-in chain called Tom's before ultimately declining. A handful of issues, including many customers confusing the franchise with the similarly named Papa Gino's, plagued the chain, and eventually Gino's closed its doors forever in the early 80s. Though Geno's didn't truly close up shop, as there are 2 locations still open today.
Oh, right. Well, that is good to know.
Minnie Pearl's Chicken.
Fried chicken is fried chicky chick.
Back in the late 60s, John Jay and Henry Hooker, along with Nashville comedian Minnie Pearl, decided to open their own fried chicken restaurant after being inspired by KFC. Delicious. Using KFC as a blueprint and Minnie Pearl as the mascot, the chain, Minnie Pearl's Chicken, debuted on the scene to great initial success. Unfortunately, this restaurant was created solely for the purpose of making money, and the quality was lacking, with various locations having completely different recipes for their chicken. Minnie Pearl's was 40 locations strong, and none of them were making money, and eventually the franchise closed all its locations for good.
It's too much! It's too much!
White Tower.
Same, but different.
This chain debuted all the way back in 1926 in Milwaukee. The burger chain was often compared and even called an imitator to White Castle, and served up classic hamburgers and soft drinks. Hamburger! At its peak, White Tower had over 200 locations until the chain eventually began to decline. Despite trying to reinvent itself several times by incorporating curb service as well as other creative ventures, White Tower was defunct by 2004.
Failure!
Steak and Shake.
What in the devil's name is this? Where's the steak?
Steak and Shake may not be as well known as other famous burger joints, but the franchise, which has been around for almost 90 years, has continued to serve up steak burgers and shakes to the masses.
This milkshake is outrageous.
Sadly, Steak and Shake isn't doing as well as it has in the past. While the Midwest chain hasn't completely closed its doors, many of its locations have closed up shop. About 30 Steak and Shake locations have permanently shut down over the last year. The chain has, however, managed to turn a profit by adjusting to a counter-service kiosk model. But with many of its locations closing up, the profit the chain generated may not be enough to prevent Steak and Shake from closing up entirely.
No! God!
Boston Market.
What? Winner, chicken dinner.
Back in the day, there weren't many franchises that specialized in chicken. Sure, there was KFC, but then came along Boston Chicken. Never heard of it? Well, that's because the chain is now called Boston Market. Boston Chicken set itself apart from the other chicken franchises by offering rotisserie chicken instead of the fried chicken we were all used to. The chain also served up other deliciousness such as baby back ribs and rotisserie chicken nuggets.
Chicken nugget, I like to eat you while I drive.
Unfortunately, even after the name change, this beloved chain may be closing up shop permanently in 2023. Boston Market has its share of problems, such as a large pile of lawsuits for failing to pay vendors and former employees. With these issues plaguing the chain, it's estimated that Boston Market